Calgary's housing market is undergoing a transformation, and it's not just about rising inventory or shifting sales numbers. Investors and developers are now turning their eyes to a new frontier: build-to-rent and infill development. With a growing population, record-breaking immigration, and persistent affordability challenges, these two strategies are emerging as the next big wave of opportunity. But why are they becoming so attractive in Calgary right now, and what do they mean for homeowners, renters, and investors alike? Let's dive in. The Calgary housing backdrop. Over the past few years, Calgary has experienced a real estate boom fueled by interprovincial migration, international arrivals, and one of the strongest job markets in the country. While prices have moderated slightly in 2025, the fundamentals remain solid. Population growth. Calgary welcomed tens of thousands of newcomers in 2024, with strong projections continuing into 2025. Affordability relative to Toronto and Vancouver. Buyers priced out of other Canadian markets continue to see Calgary as a more realistic entry point. Construction surge. Over 21,000 units were completed in 2024, the highest in Calgary's history. Despite this growth, demand continues to outpace supply in key pockets, particularly for affordable rentals and modern infill properties. This imbalance has created fertile ground for two models: build-to-rent, BTR, and infill development. What is build-to-rent? The build-to-rent, BTR model involves constructing housing, typically multifamily units, specifically designed for long-term rental rather than sale. Unlike traditional condo projects, where units are sold to individual buyers, BTR developments are retained by developers or institutional investors and operated as rental communities. Why BTR is booming in Calgary? Rental demand surge. Rents remain high despite rising vacancy rates, with average Calgary rents around $1,700 to $800 a month. Areas like Northeast Calgary are especially competitive. Predictable income for investors. BTR projects provide steady cash flow, appealing to investors seeking long-term returns. Government support. Zoning reforms and density incentives make Calgary more attractive for multifamily development compared to restrictive markets like Vancouver. Tenant preference. Purpose-built rentals often offer amenities, professional management, and stability that many tenants prefer over secondary rentals, like basement suites. What is infill development? Infill development focuses on replacing older homes in established neighborhoods with new higher-density housing, often duplexes, fourplexes, or townhomes. In Calgary, neighborhoods like Altadore, Mount Pleasant, and Killarney are hotspots for infill activity. Why infill is gaining traction? Land utilization. Calgary's inner-city lots are large and underutilized, making them prime targets for redevelopment. Urban lifestyle appeal. Young professionals and families want to be closer to the core, with access to transit, restaurants, and cultural hubs. Strong returns. Investors see 12 to 15% rental yields or 15-20% flip returns in high-growth neighborhoods. City policies. Calgary's new RCG, residential, grade-oriented infill, zoning supports more multi-unit construction on traditional single-family lots. How BTR and infill complement each other. While these are distinct strategies, they overlap in creating much-needed supply and meeting evolving market needs. BTR projects address Calgary's growing rental housing shortage by delivering hundreds of units at scale. Infill development revitalizes older neighborhoods, adding density without expanding urban sprawl. Together, they form a two-pronged solution to Calgary's housing challenges, boosting rental options while reshaping the city's urban landscape. Opportunities for investors. For investors, Calgary's BTR and infill markets offer unique entry points depending on budget and risk appetite. Institutional investors are increasingly targeting large BTR projects for reliable cash flow. Individual investors or small developers can profit from infill by flipping or renting modern homes in desirable areas. Joint ventures are common, pooling resources to purchase land and redevelop into multiplexes. Importantly, both strategies are hedges against volatile resale markets. Even if home sales slow, demand for rentals and urban housing remains strong. Challenges to watch. Of course, opportunities come with hurdles. Construction costs, material and labor costs remain high, eating into margins. Market saturation risks. With record construction, Calgary's vacancy rates have risen. Some worry BTR could oversupply certain areas. Community pushback. Not all residents welcome infill, citing parking issues, neighborhood character changes, and density concerns. Financing complexities. Securing funding for BTR projects can be harder than for traditional condo builds. Future outlook. Looking ahead, BTR and infill are poised to shape Calgary's housing market for the next decade. Expect to see more master-planned BTR communities offering amenities like gyms, co-working spaces, and green areas. Infill development will continue spreading into more neighborhoods as Calgary's zoning changes unlock land potential. For buyers, renters, and investors, this means more choice and opportunity in a city that remains one of Canada's most dynamic real estate markets. Conclusion. Calgary is at a turning point, with build-to-rent projects creating rental stability and infill developments reshaping inner-city living. The city is building a housing future that balances affordability, density, and growth. What do you think? Would you invest in a build-to-rent development for steady cash flow, or take on an infill project with higher but riskier returns? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you see Calgary's next big housing wave playing out.